Do not make these same mistakes in crypto. I have 3 stories to tell you today. I'm going to try to do that in one take because it's been windy as hell out here, and I want it to be a lesson for all of you. Now, I like doing these outside videos, and I'm going to continue to do them, specifically when we talk on a more person-to-person, when I'm not like teaching something fundamentally or technically. This is a great way I think we can communicate and spread very interesting stories and flip it into a great educational lesson, okay? Now, I'm actually recording from my home today, which is going to be a very important thing because if a kangaroo jumps past, not walks past, jumps past, I'm going to show you guys because I had a lot of comments on my last outside video. Where's the kangaroos? Kangaroos are a government psyop. So I'm going to show you that robots do exist and they are plentiful. So this is going to be kind of hard because every time I start and stop recording, it just continues to get windier and windier. So I'm just going to just go for it, okay? But there's 3 stories today. One from a subscriber, one from a close friend of mine, and one from me that has occurred recently that I want to tell you about and then tell you, in a way, a solution, okay? Essentially, for a lot of you, because I know the subscriber and the friend of mine that these 2 situations spawn from, these aren't things that I do anymore, but these are things I did in the last bull run because, again, I was a lot more immature and I didn't really understand. And this isn't going to go to, focus on anyone that's, in the younger demographic. This is also for older people as well because we're not talking about something that a young person might make a mistake on. We're talking about things that humans make mistakes on. And this is one thing I keep talking about, and you guys should know recently, I'm very much about psychology, right? Because it's all the markets are, right? Not just me versus you and, when's buying and selling. I'm talking about, making good judgments as well. So with that being said, I hope you appreciate today's different style of video. I'm going to continue to do these, but I will only continue if I know you guys like them. And you guessed it, the only way I know that is if you hit the like button right now. So thank you so much. Now the first story and the second story are kind of similar, but I'll tell you the first one. So this was coming from a subscriber recently, and he told me something that, again, this was something that I did in the last bull run. You guys have, heard me speak about it. And it's one way that you can actually end up leaving the bull run with less money than what you started. Probably a hell of a lot more stress as well. Borderline wanting to skip the country. So this subscriber recently told me through a one-on-one, and by the way, everyone in this story, including myself, is happy to tell you guys about these. They actually took a loan out to get some more crypto, right? And you know why? It didn't come from, oh my God, this day of red is so amazing. This negative 20% day is amazing. And Chainlink's down to 450. No, because at that point, everyone thinks red down to 450, Chainlink's going to go to 0. I don't want to buy it now. Same with every other project, right? And this person actually bought because of FOMO, fear of missing out. They thought they were going to miss out because there was just a deal of a lifetime they didn't want to miss out on. Chainlink, whatever it was, I don't know what projects they bought, but it was going to the moon, right? And this is a very big problem because, again, like when you decide to take a loan out, again, you're committing yourself to a long period of time where it's going to be, again, like future repayments, right? So if you think about a loan, what is a loan? All you're doing is pretty much borrowing against your future self. All you're doing with the loan is saying, hey, over the next X amount of months or years, I'm going to pay this back through my wage. You're still paying it, but then of course you have the principal, which is that you also have the interest. And the interest is really what's going to kill you. If you think of the interest is almost like if you had the money that you didn't decide to do that, typically with loans, you have to put a deposit down and you just put that into a crypto or anything for that matter. And you had the year-on-year, you could say inflationary rewards that came back to you, right? It's probably going to be almost, at least in crypto, it definitely will be some of these altcoins, more than what you are requesting the loan for anyway. Okay, so there's a video I'm coming out with in a couple of days relating to staking, and you guys need to know a lot about this because when I did it for my course, when I actually broke it down, I really realized in that moment how important it is to stake, no matter how small the percentage. I'm going to really explain that. And so, back to the story, the subscriber basically did something that I never thought that I would see again, honestly, but it's very real. So if you're someone out there, just like this individual, who, did help as best as I could in a non-financial way possible, if you're someone who is thinking about taking a loan out, needless to say, you've actually gone ahead and done that already, I want to implore you, please do not. I don't care how good the deal is, especially if this, considering this person got FOMO, it wasn't even a good judgment. It was because they felt like they needed to. You don't do it, right? It's not worth it. And you might want to look at alternative ways to make more income. Again, there is ways you can turn a very little into a fucking lot of money because we're in the perfect industry for that. and that's crypto. There's no other better place to do it, in my opinion, right? So just learn how to go ahead and do new things. Don't bother about buying Chainlink or whatever it might be, Solana, when it's 2, 3, 4x up. Because again, what goes up must come down, and ultimately you're going to be the one shooting yourself in the foot when in 2.5 years' time you didn't take your money out and you still owe repayments. So my friend, and it really hurts me to say this, unfortunately has been spending and dabbling a little too much in meme coins. You guessed it, meme coins. Now, here's the thing about meme coins, right? They're a great way for an intermediate/experienced crypto investor to make quick money. And I would even go a step further and say someone who's been in the space for, or at least can dedicate, 10, and I would even go a step further and say it's more particularly suited for someone who can spend at least 2-3 hours of solid research a day into that particular area, into meme coins, because if you think crypto moves fast, you have seen nothing yet with meme coins. When you're talking about a project pumping from a great piece of fundamental news, like Chainlink, it's on top of my mind, but HBAR, QNT, Solana, whatever. I'd like to briefly interrupt today's video with a word from our sponsor, and that is Angelo. So what is Angelo? Well, it's a brand new project. Actually, its token hasn't even released yet. What it's doing is social fi. Now, we'll get into what that actually means in a minute here, but essentially what they do is pair the sellers, or essentially the artists, of fine artwork with potential buyers or collectors, like potentially you and I. Now, they allow the democratized access to any fine artwork uploaded by the seller or artist, which means we can own a percentage of an individual physical piece of artwork. You might be thinking to yourself, Kyle, why is that pretty cool? Well, essentially, it allows the artist to crowdfund their work in a decentralized way, right? But it allows us to buy a fraction of the artwork, and when that artwork is later sold or of course appreciates in price, we not only gain a percentage of the rewards back, but what we can also do is that on a secondary market, sell individual shards of this artwork, digital artwork, for a profit, right? So I want to show you guys how this all works today. This is Angelo's interface. As you can see here, we're going to use the example of one of Peter's bits of artwork here, Rats Abandon a Sinking Ship. So if we click into it, again, what we can do is essentially buy a percentage of it. Now, if we come back, you'll see there's an available 1,000, or at least there was a total of 1,000 individual parts that we could actually buy. Now, a few hundred have been already purchased. We have 877 remaining. So if we click buy, and let's just say we want to buy, 10, that can be 100 USDT. If we want to buy, for example, the max, 877, that's going to be $8,770. But we'd essentially own 87.7% of this particular piece of artwork. And of course, we can buy that, and that goes through the regular measures. Of course, there's a whole wallet integrated as well. And actually, the really interesting part, I mentioned before, there is a secondary marketplace. So if we come up to the top here, we can actually trade these tokens. And as you can see, there is a few sell and buy orders already placed in here. And as this begins to pick up, and as Angelo launches, which again, they are going to be in this quarter of 2023, we'll be able to go ahead and obviously eventually in the future, sell at ideally a profit, as long as the artist himself or the artwork appreciates in value. Now, there is a whole bunch of bonus offers as well. I mentioned they are a social fire platform, which does mean that you not only have access to the tokens and therefore a percentage of the actual artwork itself, but you can actually talk and communicate with the artist based on how many tokens you hold. Single art token holder, 20, or 2 rather, 5, 10, so on and so forth, and you have more access. That's the social fire part of it as well. So you can really get a good sense and a feel, and the bonuses can grow along with the artist itself, right? So as we can see over here, they're also doing a bonus offer. So if you guys want to go ahead and access, especially if you are an NFT fiend, right? If you're someone who's buying and selling lots of NFTs, you can go through here, apply for this, and depending on how much trading volume and essentially how many NFTs you're buying and selling over the last 6-month period, you will have access to bonus offers, Angelo tokens, and a whole bunch more as well. So guys, check out Angelo, links all down below, and let's get on with the video. If you think those pumps are fast, then when you consider the fact that a meme coin will pump because other people are just telling you to get into it, and it's this mass hysteria, then yeah, it goes down just as fast, right? So I'm just here to tell you all, look, as great as it is, dabble, that's fine, and my friend should know better because he has 24/7 access to me. I don't even sleep half the time. It's a bit unfortunate to see that. Now, we have obviously helped him through that in, again, a non-financial way. So if the ATO is watching this, if the Australian, the government's watching this, none of this is financial advice at all. I never do that, of course, but Anyway, so yeah, it was a bit disheartening, but anyway, we got him through it. It's all been sorted. Coached him out of the positions he was in, and we have an exit plan, but you can see very easily how it can become dangerous because typically meme coins don't pump at the same sort of time other projects do. Like, we have these narrative seasons, right? And yes, there is a meme coin season. Undoubtedly, there's a season or a narrative when a whole bunch of meme coins pump at the same time. That's a given. But a lot of these things do just spike randomly based on even a little tedious bit of positive news or any sort of news to that fact, right? So needless to say, if you're someone dabbling in meme coins, yes, I know I made sponsored content on meme coins. Yes, I know, we've all got to make a living. I would just say, and what I always say in those videos to people is if you're going to invest in a meme coin, you have to understand you're signing essentially an invisible waiver saying, I am literally going to a slot machine right now because it is the equivalent. The house typically always wins. And I'm expecting to come out with a lower chance to win than I am the potential reward, right? It's the difference there, the ratio is insanely off the charts in favor of the house. And I want to also say on this before we move on to my story here, is that it's funny because when you think of crypto, what do you think of? You don't think of this established, well-regulated industry where tons of awesome people come together. Well, that's actually true, but tons of well-rounded people come together in the hope of humanity. I think what we have to understand is, like, a lot of it, and I'm talking 90% of it, is just scams. Let's just the hard facts, right? There might be a lot of nice people in it. I got scammed the other fucking day, and this isn't even a part of my third story. I got scammed the other day, believe it or not, $250. It was a giveaway to one of my, it was for one of my giveaway winners, unfortunately. And this person had imitated the name exactly. And I couldn't tell the difference. I literally couldn't tell the difference. And so unfortunately, I ended up giving $250 to the wrong person in that circumstance. So these are things that anyone can fall for. And, scams are real. Scams are real, guys. So please do not, I got lucky with $250. Is a lot of money to some people, is a lot of money to some people, but for me, it took a bit of a blow too, but it could have been a lot worse. It could have been $1,000, So with that said, remember, please be vigilant. Please be careful with some of the websites you sign up to. And whenever you use a website like with MetaMask or Solana, wallet, whatever it might be, when it says the first step usually is I am signing over my rights to Uniswap to interact with the contract. The minute you click that, it's the first step usually. There you go. See you later. If it's been hacked, like I think recently, the Avalanche, Trader Joe or something got hacked. Someone in the community told me recently, he lost his money. People lose their money because of that. So be very, very careful. Always ensure you double check things. And so now, what about the last story? What about the third story of today? Well, it's regarding me. And this was one that you guys might have seen a video on I did recently. And it was on Mina Protocol. Now, Mina Protocol, nothing fundamentally wrong with that project. We made some great money on that. I've been calling this thing since day dot, right? And Mina pumped up about two and a half, maybe even 3x to some degree. And I got lucky, right? I got real lucky. I won't lie to you guys. I bought in a bulk of my bag. I had a good feeling right at the bottom. I think it was like 36 cents, like right at the bottom before it pumped. And anyway, a couple of days later, it just shot straight up. And I think again, 2-3x went up to about $1, right? And I was so happy about this. But at the time, what I had done was when I purchased those tokens on Binance, I transferred them to an exchange I typically transfer my Mina tokens to, and I flicked them all the way over there. And of course, well, turns out the exchange, which by the way is reputable, didn't have access to those tokens. They were experiencing malfunctions, right? And for those of you who have heard the story, I actually have got my tokens back. That's all being settled. Thank you very much to CoinList for releasing that. I'm not going to give them praise because I still couldn't take profit, but I couldn't take profit. It is what it is. I'm still about 2x up right now. The market's sort of leveled out. I'm still happy. Again, I'm in it for the long run anyway. So anyway, I missed out on about profiting. I was going to take about $3,000 off the table. I put about $7,000 in. It went up to about $20,000. I was pretty happy about that, right? So anyway, moral of the story in this case is if you're going to transfer your tokens anywhere to any place, any exchange, please make sure, even if you transfer there regularly like I do, just make sure you do a test. Now, if you're someone using an exchange literally every day, like I make pays to some of my team members, or someone from a contractor, if you're paying people very, very regularly, again, it's always just better if you're just unsafe to check their Twitter or check their Telegram, set up alerts, particularly on the exchange, right? Just follow all the alerts, and if anything comes up, like, Binance says that they've been hacked or whatever it might be, there's errors or, there's a code problem, then it can get sorted, right? But it's better be safe than sorry in this case, and, it's not always feasible to transfer $1 and then a whole bunch more, especially for an Ethereum, right? It just becomes quite expensive. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please hit a like if you've made it the whole way through. I hope that these 3 situations, right, have helped you out in some way, shape, or form. And now, I get it. Like, a lot of this crypto content is for entertainment. You're sitting here watching me and you're enjoying it. Maybe you're having a coffee or a water or a beer maybe. But again, like, really let this sink in for a second here. Like really absorb this information, because it's just like, I talk to my, anyone, when I had my old bank job and I'd have elderly people come in, I always have this, I feel like I have this old soul, right? I have this connection to elderly people. I just don't like young people. Like, a lot of them talk about really stupid stuff. And where I'm kind of going with this is I feel like, someone who is young like myself, and you might be older than me, well, chances are you're older than me watching this, it's easy to dismiss what I'm saying because you think that you know the answer already. And that's coming from a young person, trust me, that's all the time with me. It's every day, right? Oh, dad, whatever, I know the answer to that question. But please, no matter what you're doing or what you're currently drinking, just take it on board, learn, and let's grow together. Let's make some fucking money together, guys. Let's do it. And if we play it right, if we play it correct, and we learn off each other's mistakes and successes, we're all going to make it. All right, guys, take good care. Talk to you soon. Bye.